What is allowed and not allowed for someone who might be described as becoming self-radicalized? What are they allowed to do in terms of making internet or email contacts with people known to the U.S. government to be of a radical bent, to belong to certain groups which are not in line with U.S. government policy? What is allowed here?
I think, we all have private lives, and basically in any command, you typically are not overly involved unless in the private lives of people that serve in the command, unless circumstances surface that there are some difficulties and challenges.
What the hell is he talking about? The man said, "I can't wait to join you in the next world," and they didn't go in and take him down. Now listen to this, it gets even crazier at 5.
If you had a young sailor in your command making statements of a radical nature, what would be the appropriate course of action?
Without trying to map it to the current incident, my expectation is for any commander to certainly to be aware of those kinds of things, and then to take appropriate action, to certainly not sit idly by, but to address it. And there are a lot of different ways to address it. And a single proclamation, if you will, doesn't in and of itself necessarily mean anything. You got to put it into the circumstances.
So although he sent 18 emails to a radical Muslim saying, "I can't wait to meet you in the next world," although he was sending money to overseas Muslim charities, and although he screamed Allah Akbar, Mullen does millibabble and says a single proclamation doesn't in itself mean anything. It has to be put in circumstances, whatever that means in millibabble. What about a single bullet in the head? In the context of the circumstances of bullets in a lot of people's heads, would you say that adds up to jihad, Mr. Mullen? It's, look, it's beyond belief. Now you talk about the health care thing. The Senate health care bill, the scam, the stealing of the health care industry by the gangsters who run the Democrat Party. They just bribed. I'm sickened by the corruption of the health care bill. There is presidential bribery. They just bribed a senator from Louisiana with $100 million to get this thing through. They bribed her. In your face, they bribed her. $100 million payoff to buy Senator Landrieu's vote. If that's not bribery, I'd like to know what is. It's illegal. It's totally illegal. ABC News, no, it's not ABC News. Yes, Rick Klein says, what does it take to get a wavering senator to vote for health care reform? Here's a case study. On page 432 of the Reid bill is a section increasing federal Medicaid subsidies for certain states recovering from a major disaster. The section spends 2 pages defining which states would qualify, saying, among other things, that it would be states that during the preceding 7 fiscal years have been declared a major disaster area. The section applies to one state, Louisiana, the home of moderate Democrat Mary Landrieu, who's been playing hard to get on the health care bill. In other words, the bill spends 2 pages describing what could be written with a single word, Louisiana. Senator Harry Reid, who drafted the bill, cannot pass it without the support of Louisiana Mary Landrieu. How much does it cost? According to the CBO, $100 million. So that's bribery. That's bribery by any means. That's illegal. So who's going to prosecute her? Bribery. Why do you even work and pay taxes anymore when you have a country that's like a banana republic? It is political bribery. The bill itself doesn't even warrant support unless there's a payoff. Do the people of Louisiana know this? This is hope and change? All of you Obama morons? This is hope and change, you idiots? It's bribery. It's a repeat of history of the worst and most devious corruption in the government's history. This is the hope and change you schmucks voted for? Every time I see someone driving around with an Obama bumper sticker, I actually have to control myself. I feel like screaming at them, but I don't. Instead, I remember Benedict Arnold, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, Aaron Burr, Alger Hiss, Aldrich Ames. That's all I think of when I see people with an Obama bumper sticker. I think of Benedict Arnold, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, Aaron Burr, Alger Hiss, and Aldrich Ames. And I say to myself, others must see the same thing. I can't be alone. I can't be alone. The political payoff is overwhelming. And the government has to pay for it with your money. Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for this? Who is going to pay for giving health care to illegal aliens, by the way? 99% of this is to give health care to non-citizens, in case you don't know it. Because everybody else basically qualifies for health care, free health care one way or another, if they can't afford it. You know and I know that if you don't have money, you can march into any emergency room in America and get fabulous health care because the illegals do it. They sponge off our system right now. I was in a hospital emergency room 3 times last year. Every time it was filled with illegal aliens and their families. They go there for primary care and you pay the bill. So who is this for? Exactly who is it covering, Harry Reid? Which constituency are you most concerned about that you're willing to bankrupt the country even further for? Who are they doing this for? Well, for one, they're stealing the health insurance industry from private entrepreneurs in order to give it to their friends. That's number one. They're literally stealing the health insurance industry from the health insurers. That's a number one. Then they're going to bankrupt the HMOs and create new HMOs that their friends run. Then they're going to create ambulance services that their friends run. Then they're going to be paid off by the pharmaceutical manufacturers who love this. The reason the pharmaceutical manufacturers love this is because they're going to give out drugs to everyone who asks for them, and you're going to pay for it. And so now we know there's open bribery to get a senator to vote for this bill. The bill is so rotten, so corrupt, so insupportable that Obama has to offer $100 million in order to get a senator to vote for it. And you want to change?
Savage.